Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be diving into an early look at this Sunday of the Week 14 of the NFL season here on Draftkings. I'm excited to get into this one with you. I have been doing NBA videos for the past couple weeks, and I wanted to do one today, but I was unable to record until just now, and that would only give you about 5.5, 6 hours to see the video. When I do NBA on Wednesdays, I like to try to get the video up by like 10 or 11 a.m. at the absolute latest. So I figured I would do an early look because I will be live streaming today at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I will be live streaming, probably closer to 3 or 3:30. I will be live streaming all about NBA tonight, where I'm at, who I like, who I don't like. So make sure you come over there if you do have any NBA questions. I know a lot of you do look forward to my NBA videos. Now, we're going to jump right into this one, though, so if you have not already, please do leave a like on this video. I greatly appreciate your support, as always, and if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, please leave them in the comment section below. Whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, any DFS site, or season-long fantasy questions, I'm happy to give y'all advice when I can. Now, starting off the first look here, I looked at this slate for about 10 minutes yesterday on stream. I have not looked at it any more than that, so this is a legitimate first look. And starting off here at the QBs, these high-priced quarterbacks don't scream out to me amazing plays. Lamar Jackson probably being my favorite of the top two. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes playing this New England defense is a tougher matchup. Deshaun Watson had some success last week. We all saw that, but regardless, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's a strong play, especially not in cash at 7K. I think he's fine for tournaments. I think we might be able to catch Patrick Mahomes at low ownership due to the matchup when he is also Patrick Mahomes and can do a lot of crazy things. Aaron Rodgers at 6,800 makes a lot of sense against this Washington secondary that's gotten lit up a few times this year. They've been solid at times, but they've also gotten exposed quite a few times. So I'm definitely okay with trying to play Aaron Rodgers here. They faced a really, really weak passing game in Kyle Allen and the Panthers last week, so their confidence is up. But when you play somebody like AR-12, your confidence doesn't really matter. He's going to find a way to do what he needs to do. But that's just kind of what I'm thinking about these top three QBs on the list. But coming down a little bit. I'm definitely going to like Jacoby Brissett this week playing against that Tampa Bay secondary. He should have quite a bit of success. I think T.Y. Hilton's questionable too. That's definitely a big impact on whether or not I like Brissett. Will not participate in practice Wednesday. We got to keep an eye on that. If Hilton comes back, I really like Hilton against that Tampa Bay secondary. If we come down a little bit more, we have Devlin Hodges playing against Arizona. Arizona has given up the most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks out of any defense this year. That gives Devlin Hodges some consideration, but regardless, he does not have a monster volume or anything like that. That is super interesting. At best, he's still going to be a GPP play for me. He has obviously been announced that he will be starting, though. And then after that, we have Ryan Tannehill against Oakland. I think this is a really strong spot for Ryan Tannehill, who's thrown 2+ touchdowns every single game since he got the starting job. I definitely am going to like this spot for Ryan Tannehill. We attack Oakland through the air. I know Derrick Henry is a workhorse and will do very well still probably against this Oakland front, but I definitely like Ryan Tannehill. Hopefully he can dump some off, and then Derrick Henry can get those long reception touchdowns. I'm definitely in favor of Ryan Tannehill there. And then I also wanted to mention Derek Carr because I know Derek Carr has been slacking a little bit lately, but he is way, way too cheap against Tennessee in this matchup. I think GameScript is going to favor Tennessee, and Oakland is in a very, very important situation in terms of playoff implications. They need to win as much as they can, and this would be a huge one for them, and it's definitely one of their easier ones coming up. So I definitely like Derek Carr a ton at 5K. It makes a lot of sense to me to stack him with somebody like Darren Waller. If you haven't noticed already, we're going to be talking a little bit quicker, but also about more players in an early look. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I wanted to make sure I cover most of the bases and let you guys know where I'm at and what I'm thinking about this up and coming Sunday. But over here at running back, Run CMC, 10.3K, the cheapest he's been in a little while. I feel like he was like 10.5 and 10.7 last 2 weeks. No, he's been 10.5 the last 4 weeks and then 10 a week before that. But regardless, dropped his price a little bit after a rough performance against that Washington defense. It was very, very interesting how he just didn't really get used as he normally does. But regardless, he is going back to play Atlanta again. The last time that he played Atlanta, he put up 33.1 fantasy points, and it was mostly due to this big number right here. We all know he's an amazing back, probably one of the best that I'll ever have the pleasure of watching in my lifetime. But when you get 15 targets, I don't care how talented you are or not, you are going to crush your value. I don't care if you're 10.3K. If you gave Le'Veon Bell 15 targets, he's probably going to hit his value at 10.3K. So we got to look for that. Obviously, he was a big part of the game plan last time. He will probably be in my cash lineup this week. Derrick Henry finally getting priced up here against this Oakland team. I just talked about him at 8.2K. finally, again, a respectful price. I mean, he's just kind of been getting disrespected with these 5.8K tags and stuff like that all season. So I think that's a fair price. I don't know where I stand on him quite yet. And then I did skip over Dalvin Cook because he's questionable. We don't necessarily know where he stands. But playing against Detroit, Dalvin Cook is probably going to be a very solid play. I would probably want to try to fit in him and Christian McCaffrey if we can find the value at wide receiver, which we may be able to with guys like Zach Pascal if T.Y. Hilton is to miss. Coming down here, we got to see if Marlon Mack is going to play. I don't think he will, and even if he does, the Tampa Bay front against running backs has just been way too tough this season. I'm not really going to be interested in him at all anyway. Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, the split backfield running back by committee. They're pretty much, well, I wouldn't even say that. It's not really RBBC, but it's just a split backfield. They have a pass catching back in Eckler, and then they have the more of a workhorse style back in Melvin Gordon. They both get work. They're both fine plays for me this week against this Jacksonville defense. I think that makes sense. But one guy here at running back that I noticed early on that I think is just drastically underpriced is Mark Ingram at 5.9K. I know he had a rough week last week. He's been very boom or bust pretty much this season. It's either 10 points or 25 plus, is roughly for the most part. That's what I feel like I'm playing when I get Mark Ingram in my lineup. But regardless, this Buffalo front is not stingy. A lot of people talk about this Buffalo run defense as if they're just amazing. The best part of this Buffalo defense is Tre'Davious White. That should be common knowledge at this point. But a lot of people see that matchup, and I know they don't have this big red number like they used to all season, but I still think a lot of people are just not going to love to play him against Buffalo because they have this image in their head of a strong run defense in Buffalo. It's not that good. I think Mark Ingram's in a great spot here at 5.9K. I definitely like Mark Ingram quite a bit. And then we come down a little bit, and I wanted to mention Aaron Jones up top, but we have Jamal Williams down here at 4.8K, who I like a lot as well. We have Jamal Williams and Darius Geis side by side. I know Darius Geis and AP were splitting some run last week, and I know that he had a monster average per rushing attempt. That's probably not going to be 12.9 this week. He's not going to average 12.9 yards per carry this week. I doubt that. If he does, I'll eat my words on that one. But regardless, they are playing this Green Bay run defense, who is not good. They are very weak. They are definitely in the latter half of the league. And by all means, I'm comfortable playing Darius Geis after what we saw last week. I don't care if he's only going to get 10 carries. I think he will still hit value of 4.9K on 10 carries this week if he finds the end zone. That would be ideal as well, though. And then I also wanted to mention Carlos Hyde here at running back. I know this is going to be a longer video. I'll mention a lot of guys, but Carlos Hyde against this Denver defense is in a very interesting spot to me. I think they're going to rely on the run game a lot against Denver. I don't think they're going to check down to Duke Johnson as much, but I think that Carlos Hyde should see at least 15 carries this week. I know he's been up and down in terms of volume so far this season, but he has had some solid weeks, and I think this is going to be a good bounce-back spot for Carlos Hyde. Now, over to wide receiver. Starting off here at the top, Michael Thomas and Tyreek Hill. The top two guys on the salary are catching the toughest matchups, literally first and second. Those are great numbers for me. I love to see these big, red, scary numbers because they scare a lot of casual players off of them. I like Tyreek Hill's matchup quite a bit, and I don't see how Michael Thomas is not going to still be not Michael Thomas at home with Drew Brees Drew Brees is your quarterback at home. I don't care if you're playing San Francisco or if you're playing the Lions. It doesn't matter to me. You're Michael Thomas. You're 8.3K. I think that he's in a great spot here. I think Michael Thomas is almost always in a great spot regardless of the matchup. But at 8.3K in GPPs, we should be able to catch him at lower ownership. So I think he's a really strong play. And again, like I said, Tyreek Hill. I think Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill correlated this week is actually a really strong GPP play as well because this New England matchup and these big scary red numbers are going to scare some people off this duo this week, and I definitely like them quite a bit. But if we get off some of these top guys, I do want to mention a couple other guys. I already mentioned T.Y. Hilton. I do want to show Zach Pascal if I can find him real quick. Oh, there he is right there, 5.5K, playing against this Tampa Bay defense. If T.Y. Hilton misses, I expect Zach Pascal to probably end up in my cash lineup just because of how strong his matchup is, and they are going to have to throw the ball to someone. It will most likely be him. I mentioned Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. I definitely like the stack with him and A.J. Brown. I'm absolutely fine with it. Do you have to do it? No, but it makes a lot of sense because I think that they are going to have a lot of success in the air against this Oakland team. And then Sammy Watkins burned a lot of people last week. Not super on Sammy or anything like that. I think it's a tough matchup for a guy that's obviously was inconsistent last week, so it scares me a little bit this week. But I did want to mention Corey Davis for Tennessee as well. I'm really high on this Tennessee passing game this week, obviously. This is a very, very GPP play. This is not a safe play or cash play you're hoping for a long bomb or just more volume coming out of Corey Davis in this matchup that he draws this week. And then I also wanted to mention B.C. Johnson. If Adam Thielen misses this week, I think BC deserves some GPP consideration at 3.7K. He could be a solid salary saver. And then also Marcus Johnson for ND if T.Y. Hilton misses. His snap count has been great, and he's only 3.6K. On to tight end. Over here at tight end, let's scroll back up here. I only want to mention a couple guys here. Travis Kelce, I think, is fine against New England. I'm okay with playing Patrick Mahomes, Tannehill, and Travis Kelce all in the same lineup. It's fine with me. I think that game could be very competitive, so I'm definitely okay with playing all three of them. Darren Waller, though, against Tennessee makes a ton of sense to me. I think Darren Waller stacked with Derek Carr. You don't have to even play Tyrell Williams or anybody like that. You don't have to play Renfrow if Renfrow's even back. I don't know if he is. Let's check. Yeah, he's out. That's even bigger of a boost to Darren Waller, who's going to see a lot, probably one or two extra targets from the target share Hunter Renfrow was garnering. I'm definitely okay with playing Darren Waller. I think he's a really strong play at 5.8K this week. He should definitely crush his value. Vance McDonald playing the Arizona Cardinals, who are the worst team in the league at defending opposing tight ends. I have been playing tight ends against Arizona all year, and for some reason, I don't want to play Vance McDonald this week. I'm probably going to end up with a few Vance McDonald lineups just because of how strong the matchup is. But, man, I just don't trust Devlin Hodges, and also I don't really trust Vance McDonald. And I hate the price tag, too. The 4.3K is pretty rough on him. When you can come down 100 and get to Jared Cook, you can come down 200 and get to Ryan Griffin. So that's where my head's at tight end. I'm definitely going to lean probably more towards Ryan Griffin, Jared Cook here. Got to keep an eye on Greg Olsen's status. If he plays, I think he's pretty fine. He's a strong play at 3.8K. I'm okay with it. If Thielen misses, Irv Smith Jr. has been getting quite a bit of work at 3.3K. I think he's fine. And then every single week of the year, I think O.J. Howard is a fine GPP play. I had him in a few lineups last week. He ended up getting some targets and some early usage in that game and then kind of slowed down. I just think O.J. Howard has a monster ceiling, and at 3.2K, I'm sure I will have a little bit of O.J. Howard sprinkled into my lineups. And then lastly, I do want to come over to defense real quick. There's not a whole lot that I really want to mention over here on the defensive side of things. If we're looking down here at the cheaper aspect, I'm okay with a couple guys down here. I think that's probably like the Colts defense, who I'm pretty sure will get takeaways from Jameis as Jameis turns over the ball every single week. I think that they are fine. And then if we come up a little bit more, the Saints defense is actually priced up a little bit. 3.1K in a tougher spot. I think that they could hit value against Jimmy G in that Niner offense. I'm not as high on the Niner offense as a lot of people are. I think that the Niners are a true Super Bowl contender. I just don't think their offense is as lethal as they need it to be. I think they're really relying on the defense. The Packers defense is a strong play at top price in GPPs. And then lastly, I think the Vikings are going to be fine against the Lions, especially with the Lions QB situation with Stafford still banged up. If he misses this game, then I think the Vikings defense is a very strong play. But I will leave you guys with that. I do apologize again if you weren't expecting a longer video. I hope you enjoyed the first look. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Again, I will be live streaming in roughly 2 hours around 3:30 Eastern. And then we'll be going over NBA tonight, maybe talking a little bit more about NFL, and maybe even an early look at Thursday Night Football Showdown tomorrow. So hop into the live stream if you have not already. The link is in the description below. Twitch.tv is in the description below. Make sure you go follow me over there. You'll get notified when I go live. Don't miss the live streams. A lot of people have been really enjoying those because they can get their questions answered verbally, which is a lot better than me typing in comments. So I hope to see most of you guys out there. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for the Thursday Night Football Showdown breakdown.